Hi, this is Janet, everyone. Janet live session, group 1. I'm here. Thank you so much for staying with me, coming in. All right. Thank you so much. Share with your friends, share your videos on your groups, favorite groups. I don't expect many people today, but this video, I promise. So group 1, I know when you find time, this video will be here for months to come, for weeks. This topic today is not for the faint-hearted, I'll be honest. Today we are talking about heavy duty stuff. It's not for the faint-hearted. Group 1, I have your questions. So I'll cover the questions from group 1. Thank you so much for the group leaders for putting the questions together. Okay? I'll respond to everyone that left a question in group 1. As I said, these are not programs for the faint-hearted. Why is Janet qualified to do this? I've done this before. Okay? Today we are going to talk about human sciences, allied health, and this will include medicine. We are going to talk about pharmacy. We are going to talk about dentistry. Okay, people that do biology, chemistry, biochemistry, anyone that wants to stay in the laboratory technician and the like, STEM. Okay, some people I'll touch on maybe a little bit of engineering. How do people come here and how do they change these careers? Okay, group 1 was slow to start, but eventually you caught up. I'm used to group 1. And Janet, by the way, also has tried these things before, and I've brought people in the United States. I've walked them through the process. Okay, I've walked a medical doctor through the process. I've walked dentists through the process. Okay, so I understand these things myself. I did exams for medical school, for medicine, so I know these things. I know the application process. So today this is not guesswork. This is not guesswork. But before we continue, understand this is not for the faint-hearted. These are people who have a strong desire to succeed. Okay, all right. Who is that? Is this real Fool's Day? Fool's Day is tomorrow. But me, I don't believe in that. You can't fool me. Okay, enjoy April Fool's Day. I guess where you are, it's April Fool's Day already. Okay, all right. So let me get started with the questions. Number 1, what is the best branch of pharmacy for a master's program that will help someone to get easily a job in the US, and is it marketable? Okay. So I would advise you to look at the branch of pharmacy. I think a pharmacist is a pharmacist. The goal is to be a pharmacist. Okay, of course there are many places you can work. You can work in the hospital, which is clinical pharmacist. You can work in the retail, which means outside the outpatient. You can work with hospice. You can work with compounding pharmacy. You can work so many areas of pharmacy. But the goal is, how do you get the pharmacy degree? Okay, so I can't tell you which is the best branch. In my opinion, honestly, you just need to find out how to become a pharmacist in the United States. As I continue with the questions, we'll find out how. Okay, someone says, hi Janet, thank you so much for coming. Share with your friends. I'm done with question number 1. There's no which is the best branch of pharmacy to secure a job. Pharmacy is pharmacy. Biomedical sciences, human sciences, allied health, there will always be jobs. Okay, very competitive. That's why I'm saying it's not for the faint-hearted. That's why you see Janet not talking more about this. Okay, so very competitive. Every immigrant, every family, I'll be honest with you, most immigrants, in fact, when they come to the United States and outside, they believe that their kids, to show that their kids succeeded, they have to be the human allied sciences, engineers, lawyers, professional courses, dentists, doctors. Okay, it's very competitive, so be ready. I'm just preparing you. But for those who are doing these courses, you already know it's a mountain to climb. Okay, number 2, I'll continue going into the details as we continue. What are the easiest way of a pharmacist to get a green card or land in the USA as a worker? Good question, because at the end of the day, how are you going to come here? As you continue listening to me through all the videos I've done, you will see there's a pattern that's starting to develop. Because at the end of the day, you will end up in America. And how do you stay here permanently? Pharmacy will not be any different from other professions, to be quite honest. All right? So there is no easiest way. The easiest way always is a green card. Okay? And a green card can be through marriage. It can be through lottery. It can be through a U.S. employer. Okay? It can be through asylum. It can be through other things. It's not any different for a pharmacist. But we are assuming you don't have that. Okay, now we come to the second step. Student visa will always be my choice. For those who've listened to me for a long time, student visa will always lead you to where you want eventually. Okay, so if you come as a, maybe a master's in some pharmacy degree or something, when you stick here, you do the exams, which I will cover, and then maybe you join a school. Okay, and I'll go through the requirements of you working as a pharmacist in the United States. So to answer, what are the easiest ways for a pharmacist to get a green card or land in the USA? Honestly, still, like everyone else, green card through marriage, through employment, through lottery. Okay, so H1B, which like any other person that comes to the United States as a student can qualify for H1B. And then in process, you can find a lawyer that will file for you papers, okay? I'll continue. Don't worry. I know the questions will be more and more. I don't know if I break down too much. Thank you so much for coming. Use your buttons, the red, blue, and yellow buttons. If one does accelerated nursing in the US and manages to get a green card, they stop practicing nursing and pursue their first course. If yes, will green card still work for or rather be invalid? That's a very good question. Very good question, because I always tell people at the end of the day, we want a green card. If there's no other way for you to get a green card, accelerated nursing. And then maybe you want to go back to pharmacy. Good question. So if you do accelerated nursing through, you get a BSN, Bachelor of Science in Nursing through, you get a green card, most likely through the employer. The employer most of the time has a contract. Most of the contracts I know is 3 years. That means you'll have to work for those 3 years. Now, if you don't work for those 3 years, they will not take away your green card. The green card is given by the US government. There's nothing the employer can do. But before they give you that job, you sign a contract. So you'll have to meet the conditions that you gave to the employer. So if they told you if you don't work with us for 3 years, you'll have to return this amount XYZ money, you'll have to return. That's the only punishment I can think of, okay? But definitely once the US government gives you a green card, they are not going to take it away from you. The employer has no right to take away the green card from you. And yes, if you have that green card, you can go back to pharmacy and use that as a pathway to pharmacy. Use that as a pathway to medicine. But the road is long, okay? But for the most part, keep in mind, after accelerated nursing, if someone gives you a green card, most likely it's a hospital, they will expect you to pay back by working for them for at least 3 years. So, depending on the contract you sign, are you willing to cut short the contract? I know when I first came in the United States, we had this nurse from the Philippines who cut short the contract. She paid the money and went to the School of Medicine because her dream was to be a medical doctor. She left. So to answer your question, if one does accelerated nursing in the US and manages to get a green card, can they stop practicing nursing? The answer is yes. But you'll have to pay a penalty to the employer who gave you the green card, okay? And pursue their first course. Why not? If yes, will the green card still work? Or rather, will it be valid? Yes, the green card will continue to be valid. I hope I answered your question. Thank you so much for coming. Number 4, what is the process of getting a pharmacist license in the USA? So very quickly, for those in group 1, I'll just post the link so you can read. But I know when I break it down from my personal experience, from what I've seen, having lived here for many years, now almost 19 years, it's easy for you to understand and trust what I'm saying. Even if you read on Google, if you've never met people that have done these things, you think maybe it's impossible, or you think it's just a dream, okay? So anyway, first of all, let me just say something that happened to pharmacy. Me, when I first came here in the early 2000s, and most of the other countries, pharmacy takes 4 years. A pharmacy degree takes 4 years, okay? But somewhere around 2003, the United States, or wherever, I don't know when, they changed, not 2003, but they changed pharmacy. They have it PharmD, okay? For you to graduate as a pharmacist, you have to have PharmD. For you to get PharmD, you have to be in school for 5 good years. So that poses a challenge to most foreign schools, because most foreign schools, people go to pharmacy school for 4 years. And now when you come to the United States and you want to become a pharmacist, they'll ask you for a PharmD, which most of you don't, unless you graduated before 2003. If your graduate degree is before 2003, the schools will accept, okay? The board of pharmacy will accept a 4-year education in pharmacy. But if your degree is after 2003, you need to produce a PharmD. So what do foreign pharmacists do? They join schools again, which can admit foreign pharmacists, okay? Again, I'll post the link of the 2 names. I think there's one in Florida and there's one in California that will help you to get a PharmD, and then now you can qualify to do the pharmacy exams. Having said that, the number 1 tricky thing for a pharmacist in the United States is the PharmD. America will require a PharmD, which is 5 years. After you have that PharmD, they will expect you to apply for an exam. Okay, where is this exam done? Apply and take the Foreign Pharmacy Graduate Equivalency Exam, which the initial FPGEE. You have to do that. You have to do TOEFL, okay? And then obtain a Pharmacy Graduate Examination Committee certification. Just like nursing, just like medicine, these boards will always give you a certificate for meeting certain requirements. That means they've evaluated your education in pharmacy. They've made sure that your school or university is certified where you came from. They've made sure your grades were good. They've made sure you have a license in your home country. And now you've produced an exam that you did from the Foreign Pharmacy Graduate Equivalence Exam. And then you've done TOEFL. If you do all that, they'll be happy with you, okay? Then they'll give you a certificate. That is the certificate you'll take to any board of pharmacy in the United States. And they will require you now to do NAPLEX. It's called NAPLEX. I don't know the initials for NAPLEX. Or the North American Pharmacist Licensure Exam, which you have to pass, and then you have to take the pharmacy law exam. So we need to understand here. There are two challenges in pharmacy, okay? PharmD and the immigration. So we have to know how we're going to find papers. And how to find papers, Janet has explained. You are not any different from any other person, okay? H1B. If you graduate in the United States, that has to be a degree in the United States, okay? Green card, you can marry. You can get through the lottery, okay? You can get through asylum. You can become, if you are a refugee, you can find an employer to find for you a green card, okay? F1 student visa, Janet's favorite. Can you come for a master's in pharmacy? Yes. During master's, do this NAPLEX exam, do this, get certification with these pharmacy boards, and then register to become a pharmacist, yes. Now, for you to transition, if you don't have a PharmD, again, I'll post a link in group 1. You can apply to schools in Florida. You can apply to schools in California that will help you transition your pharmacy degree into PharmD. Okay, so I hope I'm making sense. Those are the requirements for you to become a pharmacist in the United States. I hope when you go back to the groups, you will discuss more and, help each other. What is the process of getting a pharmacist license in the USA? So I've just explained, okay? You will need that certification, all right, from the Foreign Pharmacy Graduate Examination Committee. How will they give you that certificate? Show them the paperwork from your school. Your school has to be board certified back home. Show them your grades, show them your courses, maybe credential evaluation, show TOEFL. When they're happy, you do the exam, you pass, they give you a certificate. You take that certificate to any board of pharmacy in the United States. You qualify for NAPLEX exam, you do the law exam, they give you a license as a pharmacist in the United States. Hopefully you have your papers from the side. Hopefully you find an employer who will file for you papers. Very competitive, okay? That's it. I'm going to keep it sweet and short, all right? Number 5, I love you so much for coming. I hope I'm not boring you, but you know what? Group 1, share with your friends. Anyone that wants to work in the United States Allied Sciences. Today we are not talking about nursing and accelerate enough of that. Today we are focusing on these other professional courses, okay? What is the approximate time and cost does it take to get a pharmacist license? Again, it depends if you have a PharmD or not. All these things, it just depends on your speed. How long will you take to prepare an exam? 6 months. If you pass the exam, maybe certification another 4 weeks. And then you do the exam another maybe 2 years. Okay? If you have to go back to school, we are talking of another maybe 1 or 2 years before you get the PharmD. Okay? All that combined, I cannot actually, it's very individualized. Okay? All right, let me see. All right, so I'm seeing some comments, so I can't really put a timeline on this. I'm just hoping that you get the point, okay? One of these days, I have pharmacists, especially in Canada. I have pharmacists that we went to school with back home. One of them is in Canada, actually 2 of them. I hope they'll be willing one day to come and talk to you about experiences. Can you imagine all of us who have something to offer? But it's so hard to find people to come on camera and share their story. And what they don't know is many people can learn from personal experiences. So most of the time, Janet has to use her experience, her living in the United States. Anyways, I don't want to digress. Let's keep on with the video. Thank you so much for coming. Number 6 is a diploma in pharmacy recognized in the USA. Like everything else, the best way for your education to be recognized in America is through a school. Yes, always these things. Remember, any education around the world is recognized in the United States. Will it give you a job directly? Yes, sometimes. Yes, maybe not sometimes. What do I mean by this? If you have a diploma in pharmacy, maybe your goal is to become a pharmacist. Honestly, that's what I will make as a goal. I always say come and get American education. Because the universities are trained to look at your education and evaluate your credentials and admit you in school. Once you're in that school, you get American education. I guess, is diploma pharmacy recognized in the United States? I highly doubt that you'll just show up with a diploma from back home and find a job in the United States. Now, not as a pharmacist, maybe you can find as a pharmacist tech, but with that, even that, you have to do a little exam and get certified. So most of this education, always think what Janet is saying. Go through a school. Improve through a school. If it's a certificate, go to a community college, improve it. If it's a diploma, go to a university, improve it. Come out with an American education and get the ball rolling. That's just how it works across the board. It doesn't matter what degree you have. This is a country that has a lot of immigrants. They've been there, done that. So it's not recognized straight away, but you can use that to transition into pharmacy tech, to transition into pharmacy by going through an American education and getting an American degree. Yes, they will recognize this. That's how they will admit you. Okay? Now, for you, a diploma, I will say you go to a community college, start pre-pharmacy. Okay, let me just break it down for you. If you have a diploma, more than likely, aim for pharmacy. Come on a student visa maybe, go to a community college, okay, and ask for pre-pharmacy. Or a university if you have a fair grade, and then do what? Pre-pharmacy. Okay, once you graduate in pre-pharmacy, now you just join pharmacy after you pass the exams. How do they call them? I forgot the name for the pharmacy exam before you join the university, okay? So anyways, it's recognized, but through a school, not just straight to the employer, okay? Use what you have to improve. Always use what you have. Join an American college, join a Canadian college, improve on what you have, look like them, sound like them, have the same papers, and then branch from there. That is the simplest, Janet, the simplest way I can tell you. And I know this is a very, very common, Janet, I did this, I did that, I did this. The best way is to use the universities and colleges. Those are the ones that understand foreign education. Start by being a student with them, improve on what you have, and then keep growing, keep going. The good news is every time you're in this country, you can always work on the side. So no one is putting your life on a standstill. No one is telling you, you'll come here and just go to school for many years and you are not earning pennies. Most people go to school and work in the United States, so you will always have a job. Will it be in pharmacy? Probably not. Okay? All right. So I hope I answered your question. Okay, number 7. I am currently a biochemistry student in South Africa. What are my chances of getting accepted in the US for medicine? Okay? Biochemistry is a very good course. By the way, most people that join medicine in the United States, I think I did this video before. This is how you look at medicine in the United States. Okay? It's different from home. We are not coming from high school and thinking we are going to join medicine. Not in America. It doesn't work like that. Okay, so most people will start with the pre-medicine. They call it pre-medicine, but pre-medicine basically means you're going to do a first degree in biology, a first degree in chemistry, a first degree in biochemistry, a first degree in physics, a first degree in engineering, a first degree in English, a first degree in sociology, a first degree in psychology. Okay, having a first degree in biochemistry, perfect, because when it comes to the medical exam, you'll probably perform even much better. Okay, so what are your chances? With your degree from outside America, having known America and how the whole world wants to come to America and do medicine, again, I'll go back to my drawing board. I'll apply. If I have a degree in biochemistry, I'm coming for a master's degree in biochemistry on a student visa. Okay? When I reach here, I change immediately to be pre-medicine. Am I making sense? So that when I graduate with an American education, pre-medicine. And then look for the prerequisites for medicine, and then do the MCAT, which is the medical exam before you join medicine. That is the pathway. That is your pathway, my friends. I'm just telling you the truth. Think like I'm not going to depend on my education from home. Yes, the schools at home are very prestigious. They are very good, but even them, they believe their schools are prestigious. That's the way you believe your universities are prestigious. Even them, they know their schools are prestigious, so they have to clean you up. They have to clean you up. They are not trusting what you have. And then another thing, maybe even if they trust, in this country, there's something called standardization. They standardize everything, okay? So someone working in Florida, for example, me, I'm in Texas. You throw me in New York, I will function because the systems are the same. The patients wear the same gown. Whoever is distributing gowns is probably the same supplier. Okay? The person distributing medicine is the same. Okay? So the standards of practice, how we treat pneumonia, should be the same in the United States. So when you come here, they are cleaning you up to follow the standards of care. Okay? So just think like that. You will have to go through, you will have to do a lot of cleaning, I'm telling you. You have to, it's just, that's the way you, and by every profession, you have to do a professional exam that is standardized. So you can train all the schools you want in the United States. If you don't pass that one exam, you are not going to get licensed. So by the end of everything, by the time you graduate, they know people are speaking the same language across the board. Okay? So if I were you, I have a biochemistry degree. And by the way, you are second year, and by the way, you have something good going for you. Only 22 years old, the sky is the limit. I'll look for a student visa in biochemistry or in biology, because you don't have a degree in the first place. The embassy is not going to give you a hard time. You can choose chemistry, biochemistry. Once you reach here, continue biochemistry, but be in the pre-med program. Okay? Do the prerequisites, requirements for medicine. The requirement for medicine for you will be a degree in biochemistry, preferably a graduate of the United States. And then prerequisites for chemists for joining the School of Medicine, I'll go through quick. First degree in pre-medicine, which can be biology, any subject, by the way. Are you getting a point about America? Okay? It's always, your first degree is just an avenue to anything in life. There are people who join medicine from literature. There are people who join medicine drama. They did psychology. They did education. They did nursing. They did physical therapy. They did lab technician. They did engineering. They did anything. But at the end of the day, you have to meet those prerequisites. What are these? Maybe biology 1 and 2 with lab. Okay? Chemistry 1 and 2 with lab. They will need maybe biochemistry, psychology, sociology, okay, statistics, organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry. Okay, all those things they want. And then you do something called MCAT. For you to join a medical school in the United States, first degree prerequisites for medicine, MCAT. Once you do the MCAT, you apply to maybe 5 or 10 schools. You never apply to one school, okay, because it's very, very competitive. You apply to 5, 10, 20 schools, okay? Whichever one takes you, you'll go to the School of Medicine 4 years. You have a medical degree. After those 4 years, you go for matching programs. They are called residency programs. You go again for 3 years or 4 years. Oh, Janet, that is too long. It's too long. No. When you are doing a first degree, you are working, my friend. If you are doing a first degree in biochemistry, you are working. Why do people count time? As if someone told you after 4 years, life is over. Enjoy the process. Go to school for biochemistry, work on the side. Go to school for biochemistry, marry on the side. Life moves on this way, you're proceeding that way. That's just how it works in America. And then during the 4 years in medicine, probably you won't be able to work. Most people will take student loans. Okay? But after you graduate 4 years, medicine is 4 years, believe you me. And I know this is a debate, people make a lot of noise, but the facts are the facts. You'll always hear people telling you, medicine is too long, it's 12 years. No, my friend. Medicine is 4 years. And I know the medical doctors listening to me might be saying, oh, no. No, people should not lie to you. Always look to facts. You can never change facts. Medicine is 4 years. Medicine, and I know. It takes too long. Medicine is 4 years, facts. If you have a problem with that, challenge me. Okay? Medicine, let me tell you, people that join medicine have biochemistry. What does it have to do with medicine? If you have a degree in literature, what does it have to do with medicine? Do you understand? You're preparing to become a medical doctor, but you're not a doctor. So people count those years, but that is not medicine. Because they will take a sociologist, they will take a psychologist, they will take a teacher. What does a teacher have to do with medicine? But once you pass the medical exam and you join medicine, medicine is 4 years. Then you get a medical degree, 4 years, period. Okay? After that, now you go for residency. That will be another 3 or 4 years. By the way, they pay. That's why I don't like counting medicine is 12 years. Me, I tell people medicine is 4 years, just to encourage you to feel like it's a short program. Because after those 4 years, you're going to do maybe family medicine for 3 years. They pay you like a teacher, maybe $50,000 per year. You are no longer in school paying loans. Someone is paying you to work. Okay? You can do pediatrics 3 to 4 years. You can do neurology, cardiology, surgery, another 4 to 6 years. During that time, during residency program, they are paying you as you work, pay as you go, pay as you go. Okay? But that time it's medicine for sure. But at least you're working. Okay, now that leads to 8 years, and that leads to 10 years, depending on the specialization you take. So I hope I've encouraged some of you. They say, oh, medicine is too long. You are 22. What are you hurrying for? The fruits are worth it. Okay, the fruits are worth it. So I hope you understand. I'm currently in a biochemistry student in South Africa. What are my chances of getting accepted in the US? It depends on your grades. If you come here, what are you going to get? You can't come here and get C. They might not take you. When you come here, you want to make sure you get good grades. That will determine, depending on your grades, depending on the competitive courses. Okay, are you going to apply for surgery or are you going to apply for family medicine? Family medicine, psychiatry, pediatrics, probably less competitive, okay? If you're hunting neurology, plastic surgery, orthopedics, dermatology, ophthalmology. So it just depends on the residency program you're picking. So I hope you have anyone listening to me. This is the process of becoming a medical doctor in the United States. It's not after high school, okay? You go finish your first degree, do pre-medicine requirements, do MCAT, join medicine for 4 years. After that, pick a specialization, apply for residency program, which is very, very competitive. We call it a match. So again, you apply to 20 programs and hope that one of them or two of them will take you. Now, the question comes to immigration. Again, I will take you back to the same things Janet always says. Find yourself here. Most medical doctors will come on a J1 visa. It's a cultural exchange. How do you get the J1 visa? The J1 visa mostly is for doctors who've already graduated back home, okay? And they've done part 1 of USMLE. It's a medical exam for doctors, part 1 and part 2. And then they pass, and then they get a residency program, okay? And then they get a letter from the residency program. Then they present at the embassy, they ask for a J1 visa. When they reach America, the J1 visa, after residency, they will be required to go back for another 2 years before they come in. But luckily enough, there are other organizations, most of them work in VA, government, they work in agriculture, they work in, interior, wherever the Indian, reservations, and then they give them waivers so they never go back home. Alternatively, if you have a degree in the United States, again, they will give you H1B. Do you understand? So the whole thing, like there's a separate issue. Immigration is separate from pharmacy. from going to school. So always understand that. How am I going to stay in America? Just like everyone else. How do they come here and live permanently? Through marriage, okay? Through lottery, through US employers, okay? If it's a medical doctor, J1 visa. Can you come for a master's in something else, research? And then when you're here, read for those exams, change to pre-medicine, and then keep going. And hopefully you marry someone along the way. Hopefully you get a green card along the way. And just make the ball rolling as you go. That's just how it happens, my friends, okay? I hope I've given you some insight. I might not have all the answers, but the good news with what Janet is telling you, you can verify. Okay? Janet, I give facts. There is nothing that Janet is saying here you will go and say, but Janet, I don't know. I'm just telling you the truth. Okay? So, always, there are temporary visas, student visas you can use. Okay, and I'll send links to Group 1. Department of Health and Human Services, Department of Veterans Affairs, Appalachian Regional Commission, Department of Agriculture, Department of Housing and Urban Development. Okay, the state departments of public health may also sponsor 30 people for J1. So those are the organizations. After you have your J1 visa and you finish your residency, they will tell the government, you know what? She got a J1 visa, but we don't want her to go back because we need her here. We don't want him to go back. We need her here. We'll change. Then they waive you, and then your employer will change the J1 to green card. Do you understand how it works? Okay. But if you are not a doctor at home, find yourself here through research, through a master's program, a green card through marriage, just like any other person. But that is the process. So I hope I'm making sense on how to become a pharmacist in the United States and how to become a medical doctor in the United States, okay? Mostly, that is just the process. Number 7. I'll continue with this guy from South Africa, or the lady from South Africa. What is better for me, to do a master's? So this is the question that, let me read the whole question. I am currently a biochemistry student in South Africa. What are my chances of getting accepted in US for medicine? I've already answered that. What is better for me, to do a master's and a PhD in biochemistry, or to just prepare myself to do medicine? Not sure if biochemistry will get me a green card job or good salary. Good question, very good question. So I've told you your chances depend on your grade, okay? Now, is it better for you to do a PhD or a master's? It will be better for you to use that to get to the embassy to come to America as a student. Then when you're here, change into pre-medicine. Do you understand? Now, preference is up to you. Do you want to be a medical doctor, or you want to do PhD? That is up to you. No one else can ever decide for you, okay? All right. Or do I just prepare for medicine? Medicine will always give you a job, true? Not sure if you get a green card. Yes, biochemistry can get a green card, especially if you do all the way to PhD. These universities will keep you around. Most people that do PhD and they have a PhD program in the United States, usually most of them will get sponsored by the university through H-1B programs or through green cards. Okay? It's always nice for you to have a master's degree in the United States. It's always nice to have a PhD in the United States. Will it pay you like medicine? No. You will work in research. There are many labs. You might work in the university and teach. You might work in the hospital, in the labs and all that. Okay? But mostly universities and hospitals with that PhD. Which one is better? If you want money, obviously medicine. Nothing will come close to medicine, okay? So it's up to you. So you are not sure if a biochemist will give you a green card. Yes, no one is sure, but mostly universities will give you green cards if you do a PhD. But it will not pay you as well. So if you can use that master's, come in, change to pre-medicine, find your way a green card eventually into medicine. That's how it will work, okay? Good question. Good salary, medicine, not biochemistry. Biochemistry will pay you well, but not as good as medicine, okay? All right. And then he continues to say, or she continues to say, if I am to do medicine, what are the full requirements for? If I have no hospital experience, I'm 22 years old, and I'm second year biochemistry, student who finished high school 3 years ago. So I already explained because I had read all your questions. 22 years old is very good for you, okay? The process of doing medicine, I have explained, okay? And you don't need hospital experience to do pre-medicine. Well, you can show that you've been working in a nursing home or you've been shadowing with the nurses and doctors. But the main issue is just to do a pre-medicine course. Biology, biochemistry, chemistry, sociology, first degree, prerequisites, MCAT. That's what they'll be looking for, okay? All right, that was a long question all the way from South Africa. Wonderful, nice question. I hope most of you learned from his question, okay? Number 8. I am 47. Can I look for a college in USA and apply F1 visa? Someone said I will be denied a visa at 47 years old. First of all, no one can tell you what will deny. Only the visa embassy can tell you. The embassy can tell you if they will deny you, okay? Now, if you are 47 and you are applying for school for the first time, you'll have to explain to the embassy what you've been doing all through and what is your motive. Like, why now? But if you're 47, honestly, and you're coming for a PhD, why will someone stop you? Maybe you graduated your first degree at 26. Then you went for your master's at 35. You've been working. Now you've been working with your master's. You want to come to America with a PhD at 47. Why would you question? But if it's your first degree, you really have to explain what happened in between, okay? I don't know that they will deny you. Me, I always say it's better to try than not. And some people say, even agents that come to recruit nurses, they say the cut point is 48 years. Well, that's them. But when you come to America, there's something called you cannot discriminate people based on age. If you pass the NCLEX, a hospital will hire you, okay? Do they discriminate? Maybe with unconsciously, but not just in your face. But there's no requirement saying in America that you have to be this much for you to start working, never. Or you have to be this old for you to go to school, never. I don't think anyone has ever told the embassy, do not admit someone that is 47. Will they be suspicious? Why? Why now? Why now? Yes. So it's up to you to answer. But yes, it's possible. No, I've never heard anyone saying because you're 48 or 61, you can't go to the embassy. Best F1 or visiting visa, I think I just explained. There's no best. It's your situation. Okay, it's just your situation. What the law is, will you prove that you'll go back? Where are your family ties? That's the only law they tell them. So visiting could be good for you if you've traveled and they can see you have no interest in America, just coming to visit. And I don't think it has anything to do with your age. I might be wrong. I don't work there, okay? I would like to take a 13-year-old daughter with me. The best would be a student visa unless you win a green card. Student visa, F1 for you, F2 for your daughter, okay? Good luck with that. 47, I don't know. You just have to convince the embassy why now. Does someone who has a bachelor's degree in medical laboratory technology stand a chance of getting a job in USA? Yes. Again, come with your bachelor degree, come for a master's in medical lab, get an American education, find a way of getting papers through Janet Rangi, and all these ways Janet talks about is the same. If you have a master's, you come with this medical lab, you do a master's in medical lab, you put yourself in the H1B pool. The employer likes you. They file for you H1B, or you win a green card. They file for you a green card. You marry American. You have a green card. Your master's in America, lab technology, medical technology, yes, you'll get a job just like America. Jobs are never the issue. The biggest hurdle is the immigration. The biggest hurdle is working papers. How do you get those working papers? But the most important point, if I can stress, never depend on education you got from home. Just the way you find that your universities are the best, they believe theirs are the best too. Okay, so you want to transition into theirs. How? By always going back to school, getting a little certificate even for 6 months, getting a diploma for 2 years, getting an associate degree for 2 years, getting a bachelor's degree, master's, PhD. Always crown your foreign education with the American, my friends. Once you crown it, people don't ask you where you went to school for. And in fact, some of you say, oh, foreign education. Even if you don't have papers, a green card, but you went to school in America, you are not a foreign trained. Foreign trained means your school was outside the United States. Even if you are an American citizen but you train outside, you are a foreign trained person, okay? So always understand the difference. If the person wants to do a master's in epidemiology, what can he do? So is this the person that wanted medical lab? I just apply for a master's in epidemiology. No one will stop you. Me, I always say, explain to the embassy why you're changing. And that's why I keep on saying, just come with what you have in your pocket. When you reach here, adjust. Find a hello. And I see all of you, Rebecca and who is everyone, okay? I'm not even looking at the people because I have to go through so many questions today for group 1. I appreciate your questions, group leaders. Thank you so much for putting these questions together. Okay? So if someone enters USA through visiting visa, how long can it take for this person to register through the Governing Council of Medical Lab? Again, I don't know. Medical lab, probably you can use your education, but I mean, visiting visa will not help you. I'll just be honest. You want to come on F1 if you don't have a green card. Always. Visiting visa is a mistake. Unless you come and then you want Janet Rangi and I teach you how to change. But why change when you can just get a student visa from day one? Come on a student visa. Go for a master's in medical lab. Find a way to change from student to permanent residency or to a working visa. That is how it will happen. If the worst happens, you have your master's in medical lab, you go back home. That is the good news. That's why Janet always loves student visa. You will never lose. Even if you don't get papers, you're going back a better person, which most of us will not, because we will find ways to stay anyway. Okay? All right. So I hope I answered your question. I wouldn't advise people to come on visiting visas if their intent is to do more. Number 9, if you have a degree in biochemistry, do you need an exam to do pharmacy? How long will the program? Again, I already explained this. I think I've done everything in it doesn't matter which degree. And by the way, even for pharmacy, just like nursing, any other, America, it doesn't care. Whichever degree you have, just learn what it takes you to move to the next step, okay? I already talked about that question. I'm not going to repeat. Number 10, for physiotherapist with a degree, will you advise the person to apply for a job or go straight to a master's? How does this person proceed? Very good question, because most of you have heard Janet saying physical therapists get green cards just like nurses. True. Some states will require only a degree. So you have to go to the specific state, okay? Look for foreign trained physiotherapists. Look at the exam you need to do to get a license. Then find a lawyer. The lawyer or the employer will help you immigrate on a green card. Okay, but mostly if you want to come, if you have physical therapy, you can come here, do a master's. I would advise to come and do your master's. While you're here as a student, pass the physical exam, physical therapy exams. Find an employer. The employer will give you a green card. Physical therapy, yes, they give you a green card. Mostly they prefer a master's. Some states will get you a job with a 1 degree. But for the most part, if you have a degree in physical therapy, if you have a diploma in physical therapy, apply for a bachelor's degree in physical therapy. When you reach here, find an employer. The employer will file for you a green card. After you pass the physical therapy exams, they will give you a license to practice, okay? Physical therapy, good question. That's why they were asking this question. Jobs are there in plenty. I prefer you to do a master's. Find an employer. An employer will file for you a green card because you are physical therapist. Most boards will want a master's degree. Very good questions. Don't hang in there. Hang in there. It's just that many people ask questions, so I have to respond. There are many questions. I'm almost done. What is the process of getting physiotherapy license in USA? If diploma, I just explained. Diploma, apply for student visa, come for a degree. When you reach here, do a master's or find an employer will file for you a green card. Again, it comes down to the same thing, transition. That's why the title today was transition, change, adjust. Those who come with a rigid mindset, I want my degree to work. If they don't want it, they don't want it. Try and patch an American education. Go through these universities, go through colleges. They understand foreign education. They understand foreign requirements. They will graduate you with an American degree. Once you have that, my friend, no one will care where you come from. The only time people care where you come from if you've never gone to an American university, because every time you'll keep on explaining this school that people have never even heard about. But once you go and get that American education, they are not looking at you. They are looking at University of California, Los Angeles, University of Texas, physical therapists. They are not looking at this South African, Kenyan, Uganda. They are not looking at it. They are looking at the education. So transition, and that's what most people, that's where they go wrong. This, it will take me long. They don't want to take my education. Then stay there. And then 5 years. Oh, no, they don't want to take stay there 10 years. Oh, they don't want to take my education. And then the young ones come. In 3 years, they've gone done accelerated. They have green cards. They even have, and then they went back to education. They went back to engineering. And you're still there complaining. Oh, they can't accept my education. This country is, and then you are wasting time. The earlier you make the decision, the faster you adjust. It's all about adjusting. I always say the first 5 years in America is not to strike rich. Just keep paying bills. Just keep on going to school. Just keep on changing. Your goal is to get an American education, and the goal is to know, how do I get working papers in the United States? I hope I answered your question, okay? All right, number 12. Which university is best that can offer a scholarship to study masters in public health? This must be a new follower on Janet Rangi. That's not how we talk, okay? But good question. Admission to the United States should be your goal, not the scholarship. No one will come on the street and give you a scholarship. For what? As who? What if you apply for a master's and now they admit you for a physical therapy program? After one semester, they start saying apply for this scholarship, because now you have a right as a student to ask for a scholarship. That's just my view, okay? But thank you so much for this question. There is no specific university. There is no best university that offers scholarship. No. It's for you to prove you want to be a student, get a student visa, get admission. Then we can start looking for scholarships. Even if someone had scholarships, let's say for poor students or for minority students, they want to send it directly to a school. Now for you, if you don't have that admission, where are they going to send it? So the question is, how do I get an F1 student visa? And the ball will roll. And for those who follow Janet for a long time, I always say that is the time you go and watch Janet Rangi videos on how to pay for colleges and universities in the United States. If you get a scholarship, well and good. If you don't, Janet has taught you how to get loans. That's how it works. That's just how it works. Number 13. Almost. I have a diploma in community oral health, dental hygienist, and I'm waiting for my visa to move to USA. Is it possible for me to work in US with diploma? Correct. Again, I love how, Janet just love. I'm sure most of you now, I've answered your question from the time I started. So you're saying a visa, I'm thinking it's green card. If it's a green card, good for you. You will work, but you'll have to clean your education again, okay? Just refer to the beginning of this video. Come in, dental hygienist, Here mostly they have a first degree. They have associates too. So you can come and improve on that, use a university, get admitted into the dental hygiene, finish the first degree, even do a master's in dental hygiene. Yes, you'll get many jobs. Dental hygienists, they have many jobs, okay? Good question. These are the ones we used to call coho, right? Are you back home? But, congratulations on maybe you're coming to move with a visa. For any follower who is listening to Janet, let me just tell you one thing. You will never go wrong by doing an American education. But you have to choose wisely. But this field of biomedical sciences, most of you will get jobs, period. All the courses I've talked about, jobs will not be the issue. The issue will be working papers. How do you get those working papers? That will be the main issue. Allied health, human sciences, you always get a job. Very competitive though. They are competitive, okay? All right. Let me take a break with some more and then we are almost winding down. Thank you for hanging in there. I don't expect anyone to be watching. But share in your groups for those people who are here. Some of you have stayed here even 3 years and 4 years and you didn't know where to start. Janet is helping you. Okay, there's no excuse. You should be doing very well. So yes, dental hygienists, many jobs. How do you stay in the United States? For you, if you are getting a green card, perfect. Make sure you improve on that diploma, make it a degree. If you have a degree, make it a master's. Use that. Employers, again, will not care about your Kenyan. They'll just look at your university education in the United States and your working papers. And yes, there are jobs. I hope I've answered your question. Okay, number 14. I'm a clinical officer in Uganda with a certificate in nursing and a degree in public health. How can I join medicine or pharmacy? Well, good question from Uganda. It's interesting because you're kind of all over the place. You kind of like everything. Clinical officer. I hope you're young because you have clinical officer, you have nursing, you have public health. Now you want to join medicine or pharmacy. Well, how old are you? The strongest thing you have, I always say, what do you have? How old are you? Okay? The way I'm looking, you have a degree in public health. To me, that is your strongest. So I will come for a master's in public health. Okay? When I reach here, I will do everything else that Janet has said. If I want medicine, I will change into biology or into nursing. I always like nursing because if things don't work ahead, you already have nursing. You can always get a green card. But if things work, you use nursing to join medicine. Are you getting those little skills Janet is telling you? So you look, what is your strongest point? Your strongest point is a degree in public health. So for you to cross the embassy, most likely you're coming for a master's in public health. When you reach here, decide you want nursing, you want medicine, or you want pharmacy. Change to something that you want. That is how it will work. Is it possible? Yes. As I said, medicine in the United States, pharmacy in the United States, dentistry in the United States, first degree in any field. You do an exam, you join the university for pharmacy. You do an exam, you join dentistry. You do an exam, you join pharmacy. That is how it works. Prerequisites. Your question is clinical officer. Yes, the answer is yes. You have to use the university, use what you have, improve on what you have, change. Move into medicine. Competitive. You always have to make sure your grades are good, B's and above. Okay, you want to make sure your GPA is always above 3.5 because you're going to compete with many people. Because as I said at the beginning of this video, these are not courses for the faint-hearted. I've been there and I've seen people through it. It was tears, but when they graduate, oh my goodness. The fruits are just unbelievable. Okay, the fruits are just unbelievable. All right. So, I hope all of you will start venturing into medicine. Some of you are in America, you didn't even know these things. Now Janet is telling you. Anytime, by the way, you can join at any age. I've told you I used to have a doctor that I worked with. She joined medicine at 40. At 48, she was a medical doctor. I have a Bachelor of Science in Biomedicine program. How would I shift? I think this was a repetition. I already answered your question. Some of these people are asking twice. Okay, so what is the process of a Kenyan doctor who lives in Kenya with no green card, no research experience, no electives done in USA while in medicine school? So is it almost impossible for them to get a US letter of recommendation while applying for a residency match? Good question. This tells me that this is a doctor who is still in Kenya They don't know how they will get their papers. And I hope Dr. So-and-so, you had my process at the beginning. So you don't have a green card. So we're going to find a way to get a green card. Student visa. Number one. Okay. J1 for you is an alternative if you do USMLE part 1 and part 2. Okay, and get a residency program, which you're saying is almost impossible because you don't have a recommendation letter. I will venture into coming as an intern. Okay, they have observerships. They have things called preceptorships, which have, like a 4 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, get those little programs that will bring you, for a short period of time. And then you follow a doctor in the United States and then have that doctor write for you a letter. So it's not impossible. The answer is, it's not impossible. Oh, if you have friends. Like now you're saying you're a Kenyan doctor. There are many Kenyan doctors or African doctors in the United States, or any doctor that you know. If they've worked in the United States, use them to say you went with them to school back home. They can write for you a recommendation letter. Why not? Especially if they are practicing here in the United States already. Okay? Or find a doctor that came to the United States, has some associations with a hospital or university. Let them write a letter because the America knows that he was here, he understands the system. Let him write. For the people that I know, honestly, they use foreign doctors to write. I don't know that it has to be from America recommendation. The residency match, they know most of foreign doctors are not here anyway. So, I don't think, but I wouldn't use the word impossible. So for you, you do USMLE part 1 and 2. Okay, you pass that. You apply for residency, and then you apply for a J1 visa. When you reach on J1 visa through the residency programs, through the State Department, you do residency on J2 or J1, and then instead of going back home, you find a job with Department of Health and Human Resources or Sciences, Department of Veteran Affairs, Appalachian, okay, the Native American Interior, any job that will keep you in America and waive so you don't have to go home, and those employers will file for you a green card. To answer your question, it's not impossible. If you really, really want to come to America and you've passed USMLE part 1 and 2, find a doctor back home to write those recommendation letters. Why not? I don't see why. Let them say no, but find a doctor that knows you in the university, a professor, whoever. Use them. I wouldn't say it's impossible. Always apply to 5, 10 schools. Don't apply to one and think you'll get. Apply to 5, 10, 20 schools, okay, for residency. I hope I helped you. But if you want electives, always there are 4. By that, I'll post a link. Group 1. Make sure you go to Group 1 and read in details what I'll be saying, okay? Last question. Second last but not least, and then I'll let you go, okay? Is it possible to apply for a bachelor's in nursing in USA using a diploma in medical lab? The answer is yes. Okay, the answer is yes. But you have a diploma in medical lab, come for a degree in medical lab. When you reach here, change to nursing, period. That's how you will pass the embassy. Passing the embassy is one thing, but when you reach America, the sky is the limit. You do, and that's why they are put there to make sure. They've been told anyone that comes on a non-immigrant visa has the intent of coming and never going back. So they are like the watchdogs on the borders, sieving and making sure who is this coming in. The answer is it possible to apply for bachelor's degree in nursing in USA using diploma in medical lab? Yes, but that's not what you're doing. You're coming on first degree in medical lab. When you come here, you just say you want to change to nursing and no one will ever stop you. That's the beauty of America, okay? Last but not least, please advise us about STEM. For those who don't know STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So this field has very few people usually, so they encourage people to go into STEM subjects. If you're a foreign student and you take one of these courses, your CPT, OPT, optional practical training, will last you. Regular students will have 12 months. For you, will have 17 months. So you'll always last longer, okay? And you are more likely to gain the H1B. When they are drawing H1B visa, okay, after you graduate in one of the STEM, you do OPT, which will be longer. During that time, you hopefully find an employer that will put you into the H1B pool, apply for you H1B, okay? Once you start working, the employer can choose to put you in for a green card. That's the only thing I can say about STEM. Okay, these are, people need, most employers need students to do science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Jobs will always be there. you can stay longer after graduation for internship. They give you a longer period compared to other students. And you can qualify for H1B, which is a lottery. Okay? And we are hoping that new immigration that they are recommending, anyone with a PhD, anyone in STEM sciences and all, they want to give them green cards. That has not passed yet, but we don't know what is coming, okay? I love you so much for spending time with me. This was group 1. Thank you to the group leaders for the good job. Thank you for your questions. I'm basically done with the group 1. I will post the link as a reference for you to enjoy reading. Leave your comments, like, share, follow. Group 1, I finally kept my word. I answered your questions. Keep discussing in the groups, help each other, because sometimes this is just too much information. I always say, you come to watch Janet Rangi, you come with a pen and paper. Me, I have it off head. You can tell Janet doesn't have to read any of these things. Okay? I don't have to, but for you, you might have to watch the video 5 times because some of this language is just too foreign. This is one of those videos you have to have a pen. If not, you have to watch the video 5 times to actually get what Janet is saying. That's just the way it is. This is complex information. But good luck to you and your families. I can't wait to see you in the United States. I can't wait to see you a medical doctor in residency. I can't wait to see you start pre-medicine, pre-pharmacy, pre-dental, okay? Accelerated nursing. Come as a student. Come on H1B. Come on lottery. Anything that will keep you in America. In a nutshell, what Janet said, it's important for you to transition into American education. It's important for you to understand how these things will work. How you will stay permanently in the United States. How you will obtain a working visa. Generally, human sciences, allied health, very, very competitive, very well-paying jobs. Very competitive, but very well-paying, and jobs will always be there. As you listen today, you can see no one is locked out. So long as you're willing to go to school in the United States and you have a way of obtaining papers, you should never have an issue. Muchas gracias. Kwaheri. Asante. Thank you so much for coming. Merci beaucoup. Until next time. See you in the next video. Bye bye. Love you for following. Bye.